Hi team, Richard Greer here, Team CP coach. We're here with Oska and we are looking at the top coast-to-coast running shoes for the 2026 event. What have you got on the cards? There's been quite a shift in running shoes over the last, couple of years, 12 months, 6 months, and these shoes that you got for me today are quite different from what we looked at last year.
Yeah, look, I think the people sitting in Kobe and Seattle, maybe not so much the Italian Alps, have no idea what you guys are going to put through a pair of shoes. It's a very unique environment, and you're covering a lot of different surfaces. A lot of different types of people are using it, so it's really, like we've kind of talked about in the past, it's really hard to nail down the perfect coast-to-coast shoe.
And there's no perfect coast-to-coast shoe, is there? Because if someone's running 3 hours versus hiking through an 8, that's a completely different set of requirements for a shoe.
Yeah, I guess if I could figure that out, I'd sell 2,000 pairs a year. one particular shoe, but I haven't managed to do that. So what we look for, there's, I guess, key features and benefits of shoes, and they will mean different things to different people. So it's kind of understanding what grip do we want. We want lots of coverage. We want something slightly soft and tacky, something that will mold itself around those surfaces. We don't want the rubber to be too hard because that creates a slip. So anything with a carbon filler is probably no good. So we want what we call a blow-in rubber, where they use sulfates in the air. The midsole, we want it to be kind of enough cushioning that you don't feel everything underneath you, but not so much that you feel unstable. And then in terms of the upper, we just don't want it to collect too much liquid or moisture, because you can obviously all those river crossings and no one needs to carry around any more weight than they already do. So that for me is when we're kind of talking about the perfect solution, and those things: how much grip do I need, how fast am I going, how much cushioning do I need, am I going to be out there for 3 hours, am I going to be out there for 7 hours, the comfort factor, and then that upper, how does it fit around your foot? That's important because you're out there for longer than a marathon, and we put a lot of emphasis on fit for the marathon shoes, so same thing there. And then obviously, how well is it going to drain and move around you in those vulnerable positions that you put yourself? Okay.
So you're going to talk us through, you've got five different shoe options. You're going to talk us through each one of them, the positives and the negatives in those, and of these five, well, if you're watching this, you might go, oh, that's a bit of me.
Yeah, so, hey, look, let's start with La Sportiva. They've done a really good job in the last 12 months. They've got John O'Wyatt, who we know is a fantastic Kiwi mountain runner. He's been working with them to start producing this Prodigio line. They've got Prodigio, which is their lowest stacked model. It's a supercritical foamed EVA, so super comfortable in through the midsole. It's not super stacked like some of the other shoes, so you are getting a little bit of ground feel. It's got 3mm lugs and full coverage, so you're going to, wherever you hit that on a rock, it's going to stick and grip. The upper is pretty good. It's going to drain well, particularly in the front 2/3 of the shoe. All these companies want the shoes to feel nice around the heel collar, so there is still some padding in there. Like, we want some comfort. Obviously, with the foam that goes into a heel counter, that's where the moisture's gonna stay, because obviously it's just like a kitchen sponge. So we've got enough to make it comfortable, but not so much that it's going to be dragging you through the back. So these guys have been great. I think that's a run-of-the-mill option. It's a safe bet.
So that is what? The La Sportiva?
La Sportiva Prodigio. They will have an update, but not ready for February. And then if we have a look at Saucony, so this one is what I'd call maybe perfect for someone looking, maybe around that 4.5, 5 to sort of 6 hours. It's got PEBA-based core, so that's the sort of the fun foam that they put in the road shoes. So it's a little bit more responsive, less compliant, so you're not going to sink down into it and feel too wobbly. It's encased in EVA, so you get a little bit more stability side to side, just overall more comfort. It does have a bit more stack height, so you probably don't want to be ripping up those big boulders. You might be taking a little bit more time. You're just enjoying your time out there. You're having some fun. The full Vibram Mega Grip outsole, 3.5 to 4mm lugs, coverage everywhere. That's going to be fantastic for most surfaces. Rocks, boulders, riverbeds, and probably excel in that sort. So sort of, and again, it's going to, with that little roll through with the extra midsole stack height, it's going to feel good on those boards and the really runnable sections. It's going to help someone just get up over the top of it. Probably the downside to this one, slightly thicker upper. The positives of that, more stability. You're going to be held on better, a little bit more of a toe cap. So when you do kick that rock, as Richard found out a couple of years ago, you're not going to feel that too bad. And again, padding around the heel collar. So not a bad option. I think it's going to work for those people that just want, a bit of a Rolls Royce to roll through there in.
Yep, good job. Yep, second option.
This is all off the cuff too, by the way.
This guy knows shoes.
And so then I guess from like big brands, so we're going to talk about Asics soon. This Brooks Cascadia, this shoe's come a long way in the last 3 years. Again, injection molded EVA midsole, similar to the last Sportiva, which we sort of talked about first. It's got a little bit of a broader fit but less volume, so you do feel quite locked down in it. The uppers are quite thin, so it's going to drain well, especially in those front 2/3, like the first option too. Decent coverage here with Brooks Trail Track outsole. It's again, I think it's for that mid-pack to backpack kind of person. You want that really sort of more responsive, kind of comfortable foam. You're probably going to be walking or hiking bits of it. You're going to run where you can. You want a shoe that's going to look after you for a long day at the office. Like lots of comfort. You're not going to feel those sharp bits through the riverbeds. You're going to be able to trust where you put your foot, all those sorts of things. And then it also comes in 2 widths. So if anyone with a slightly broader foot, we can go there and make that happen too. So that's important as well with the fit.
And these shoes that you're talking about, part of it is robustness as well, that you're going to be able to maybe do more than just one trip through the course or very similar courses that you're training over as well. Yeah,
I'm not ignorant enough to know that we're not just selling petrol. We are selling plastics, so we would like them to last best we can and have an environmental piece, and also for the people's wallet.
Yes.
You know, although it's my job to sell shoes, I also like for people to get their life out of them. You know, that's something we try and educate people on. So yeah, we have sort of chosen these options above others that maybe won't get that longevity. And then from Asics, they have obviously a couple of shoes in their trail range now. Fuji Light last year was a bit of an option for people. The upper this year is a little bit thicker. This Speed 4 that they've gone with is a slightly thinner upper. It's just going to drain a whole lot better. It's not like a neoprene or a polyester so much. It's more of a nylon weave. So a little more like plastic is kind of the term, but not. So it's just not going to absorb the moisture. It's more like hydrophobic kind of material. Still a little bit of toe cap, great lace lockdown. This is the only one with the bobble laces. So when they get wet and the laces move, they don't come open. So you probably can't see that on the camera, but they kind of got the bobbly lace. Full outsole 3.5mm lugs, which I think is probably the sweet spot for what you guys want to be doing. You don't really want 5mm, 6mm. You probably want a little more than 1 or 2. That sort of 3 to 4 is pretty good. You got full coverage. This one is a dual density midsole, a little plastic plate in the forefoot, slightly thicker than a rock plate. All that's going to do is on the runnable sections, you're just going to be able to get up and go a wee bit more.
Get up and over top.
Yeah, and so this is for someone who's probably looking to run under 3.5, 4 hours maybe, and their kind of speed is something they want. They want a grip to everything. They want to be able to trust the shoe slimmer, where they put their foot in and it kind of bends and concaves and then kind of contorted around everything. This will be the option for those, maybe those sorts of people. Slimmer fit, less volume, more race day feel. Which is sort of where Asics have called it Speed 4, I guess. That makes sense.
Good. Okay, good. So some good options there, and there's a number 5, but it's not here at the moment.
Yeah, so Sam and I have been working hard to find solutions in the background. So Merrell have an option that we will have kind of from next week. Same thing, very similar to this Asics one, maybe just slightly deeper lugs. Then there's some options from a brand called Normal, which Killian Jornet, as we know, has been a part of sort of organising that and getting that together. And then there's another brand called Norda, which we'll have early next year too, ready for, I guess, what will be Coast to Coast 2027. So we are, we're listening, we're hearing, we're trying our best. Everything in the world moves so slow, and we're trying to just make sure that we have options for all the needs and all the requirements, all the different types of athletes doing something as unique as Coast and other trail events that require sort of different types of footwear.
Yeah, good job. No, well done, Oska. Good insight into shoes and what to look for, obviously, and then what's on the market for the 2026 sort of summer season.
Yeah, and always, feel free to reach out on email, ring Sam and have a yarn with him on the phone. Talk it through with someone. I think you don't get too hung up in the old YouTube reviews and get all confused. Come talk to us. We like talking about shoes. No.